Well, hello everybody, and this is Goofy back with another video, and today we're showing you how to build these two cool piston doors behind me. I am the same YouTuber from the channel Goofy969, same name, same logo, same everything, but it got reason, and I'm gonna make same videos again because I deleted the video clips of the last ones to free up some space. So yeah, I'm a stupid as you can see, but I still know how to build some things. So this is a piston door. I'm going to be showing you how to build each and every circuit, how to wire up everything, and all of the components. So if you don't know anything about redstone, haven't played Minecraft at all, and some of you know what is a 3x3 piston door, then you're at the right place because I'm going to show you how to build it component by component. And no, there's not going to be a block by block tutorial, but I bet you that you will be able to build this on your own. This one has this cool sequence opening and closing, and this one actually is a Etho door. If you don't know who is Etho is a great Minecrafter who's been in the community for a long while, and this thing makes also a cool noise. So yeah, let's just get started. So the first piston door, it may seem more complicated, but it's not that complicated. Trust me, okay? So we can break this down into 3 circuits. First one is the double piston extender, that's at the bottom. The other one is at the top, and the third one is these 3 blocks, the wool blocks. So the double piston extenders control these concrete blocks, this grey concrete, and the single piston extenders control the wool. The single piston extenders are much easier than double piston because they're just single piston. Then the other circuit that we have got is a pulse extender, and don't worry, I'm gonna teach you everything about this. And then the rest of everything is just wired up with a few timings, which I'm also gonna mention in that video. So let's just get started with the top. Means the double piston extender, the vertical one that goes upwards. These two ones, this and this one. So it's basically this. If I press this button, it's gonna go up there and come down. And hear me out, these are not the most efficient, most fastest, or the best piston extenders. These are the ones that I know how to build, so I can teach you guys, because I can easily do a block by block tutorial of something that I don't know how it works, but I won't be able to answer any questions or explain anything. But I know how these things works because I have designed them. I guess this same design was designed by Mumbo or somebody else back in the day, but I actually engineered it again. I actually didn't see that video until I saw build this, after I built this. So yeah. And this is like totally my design. Somebody must have built this earlier, but I don't really know who had, so I don't know. But so this is a double piston extender, and it consists of wiring and a monostable circuit. More precisely, it's a falling edge monostable circuit. So first of all, what's a monostable circuit? Well, monostable circuit is a circuit that gives a specific at a specific time, it gives a output. So this button is actually going to power this redstone dust, and then it's gonna power this sticky piston here, which is gonna push this block up. But in that short period of time, the redstone will pass through this repeater and hit this redstone lamp. And as you can see, that is a super short period of time. And you then also got these sand ones, which instead of having a sticky piston, you have a regular piston because slime is hard to come by when you're in survival. And I modified it to be a falling edge monostable circuit, which is just adding a redstone torch and a block, and and that's pretty much it. So this gives an output when the button depowers, and this gives the output when the button powers. And now we have got a double edge for this it's when it's powering it when it's rising. That's why it's a rising edge monostable circuit. And this is a falling edge, as it's giving an output when it's gonna fall. And this is a double edge monostable circuit, which is just an observer. So as you can see, it gives 2 times the output to 2 times. And if I just get all these back, and if I just put a sticky piston in regular fashion, a sticky piston will actually push the block and retract it. Hence it's called sticky. But when a sticky piston is given a 1 tick output, the short output there, it's a 1 tick output. A tick is 1/28th of a second. So when it's given a 1 tick output, it will actually spits out its block. And then if I give it again, then it retracts its block, which is super cool. But we haven't used that monostable circuit. We have used another monostable circuit, which is the dropper hopper one. Sadly, this one does not give a 1 tick output, but that's alright. We're gonna need a button. So that's pretty much it. Just gonna do this. And we can also make this a falling edge, which is the one we have used over here. Let me just get this torch, and if I just do this to it, it's become a falling edge monostable circuit. Just gonna give output when it's if there's a falling edge, which is easy enough to understand. And what happens is this dropper actually shoots out the item into this hopper, and the hopper takes a little bit of time and then throws it away from back into the dropper. But in that short period of time, a comparator can measure the amount of items from a container like a hopper. So yeah, it just takes it and takes a very short, it's not a 1 tick output, as you'll see. Let's look, it's not a 1 tick output, as it's retracting its block. So that's pretty much the monostable circuit. You don't need to understand this, it's just extra things that I'm working on. And now I'm going to be showing you what this double piston extender is. So there's a piston in Minecraft takes 2 ticks, which is 1/10 of a second. Again, it's 2 ticks. Here, this monostable circuit gives an output of 1 tick, and a piston actually takes 2 ticks to like go that way, and another 2 ticks to come back. And when a piston is extended, let me just get it. Yeah, another piston cannot push it, as you can see. So we gotta engineer a way of powering this piston with the help of repeaters. Repeaters just add a delay. A single repeater will add a delay of 1 tick. If you just right click it, it's gonna give 2 ticks, 3 ticks, 4 ticks, and then you're gonna have to add another repeater. But we want it to be at 2 ticks again, because the piston takes 2 ticks to power. So first of all, we are not going to do anything like that. We are just going to have something like this. So first of all, we want this to power. First, let me just do that for a second. Let's just get a block. So yeah, that's how it's supposed gonna be. So we want this to power and this to power at the beginning in the rising edge, and while the falling edge we want this to power, this to power, and then this to power and D power. So we're gonna use a falling edge stable circuit here, and we're gonna have a 2-tick delay over here. So that I'm gonna show you. Remember, we are gonna have to have it there because that's where the piston is going to be. And now we just do that. If I just remove these, we have got the double piston extension in, but now we just gotta add that monostable circuit which is gonna just take it and pull it back. So we can take a output from here, and here's a cool thing. Target blocks are regular blocks, but they actually divert the redstone dust. As you can see, if I had that, it won't divert it. But target blocks, they don't do anything else in redstone regarding except if you shoot them with arrows, but you're not gonna have an arrow just shoot into your piston door. Maybe if you do, then it might break. No, but just seal it up so that never happens. And I have just different colors so that it's easier to understand. We have got the same thing that I showed you there. It's just a falling edge monostable circuit, and we can just put an item in there. Now our double piston extender is done, and now we have just got the same principles. As you can see, we've got the same monostable circuit but downwards. Don't worry people, I'm gonna give you a world download, so it's gonna be easy for you to like build along. Cause I'm not gonna build this one because it's the same thing, it's just a little bit optimized to like work it as it's upside down. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And this is just a side double piston extender. Again, the same monostable circuit. Target blocks are super useful, always have them. And this is the side one, but we are not going to be using this one for the piston door. We're just going to be using these two. So now if you come down here at the bottom, we have got the two monostable circuits, and you just got the redstone dot, so by default they actually stay closed. And yeah, that's pretty much what we have got here. We have got the same thing, just mirrored. This way, don't look at this lime stuff, we are gonna come back to it later. And we have got terracotta blocks because as you can see back here, we are actually using slime blocks and honey blocks. As you can see, this is the same thing. I tried to make it compact and it might seem hard. Again, we got the same monostable circuit. And yeah, as this is only 2 blocks, it's easy. But now I'm going to be showing you what is slime blocks. So slime blocks and honey blocks have the same property. You can use any block and just a lever. So look at this. Slime blocks stick to themselves, the slime blocks, and other blocks. Slime blocks stick to most blocks except from glazed terracotta, leaves, and a few other blocks. And one another exception is honey blocks. They don't stick to honey blocks, which it makes it easier to have things like this. So we can have things like these, like this. This was a super useful addition because now we can have these both separated from. It will be easier to see from the back. if we use regular blocks, let me just find it here, then these slime blocks will come over here, one of the slime blocks, and pull this, which is gonna break the system, which we don't want. That is why we have a glazed terracotta block here. And up here I have used a shulker box, because that block is actually gonna be exposed. It's this block, I guess. Let me just go into spectator mode. Yeah, it's this block. So if that would have been terracotta block, it won't have looked nice. That is why I have got all these shulk boxes, so that they don't stick to the wall but still look good. And that's pretty much it. And the lime is just the wiring. And we have just got sticky pistons here to actually pull these blocks down and these ones upwards to make this cool system, this retraction and extension. But I wanted it to have some timings, because I wanted this to retract first and then the whole thing would retract, and I wanted all these to come down and then this. So I actually had to add some timing to this. So I added timing of 12 ticks. We have got 4 tick delayed 3 repeaters here, which gives like 3 ticks of which gives 12 ticks of delay. And then these are just wired up. These pistons are wired with this redstone dust. And we've got the same thing down here at the bottom. We have got it in the on position as we want it closed at by default, and we have just got the 3 repeaters here. And then we have got torches, redstone torches here to again make this by default on, closed. And then we have got this redstone dust going here, wiring up. We use glass. As glass, with glass you can redstone dust can pass through it. If this would have been solid block like concrete, it won't have been. So glass is pretty useful. And then the signal goes here, where we've got a redstone torch, which actually makes this part of the upper part of the circuit turned on by default. We have got a target block here, so that this part of the circuit is wired up correctly, and we won't have to go the whole way around and do something like that. We have just got this. This is the double piston extender, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Get your screenshots. Don't worry, I'm gonna give you a world download. And now we just had to connect it with the buttons. So the button actually goes into target block, so that it gets diverted and it's not that bulky. And now we have got a glazed terracotta, because we don't need glazed terracotta there. My mistakes. You always learn from them. But now we have got a piston, and what is a mysterious block? This mysterious block is a redstone block. A redstone block actually gives an power output. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, I forgot to mention one thing. Redstone torches, when given redstone output, turn off, which helps us to retract the blocks. So what happens if we press this button? That thing extends and this goes into this mysterious circuit called a pulse extender. So what are pulse extenders? Well, let's see here. This is a pulse extender, and what it does, it's longer, means it just makes a like the signal length longer. So this button gives an output of 10 ticks, but this pulse extender makes this a little bit longer, and this is getting direct power from the button and is not powered by this circuit, meaning it's not gonna last that long. And we can actually, and these are just comparators facing in that direction, and just wired up by redstone that way. Pretty simple. And if you like longer this, it's gonna be even longer, longer. Yeah, and how this works is a comparator gives an output what it's given into it, means 1 minus, and then yeah, so like this gets an output of 15 signal strength, something called signal strength in Minecraft, which means a redstone dust can't go more blocks than 15, more further than 15 blocks. As you can see, if I had a redstone lamp here, redstone lamp is just a lamp that is powered when a redstone outputs, but that won't light up. But if I gave it a power from here, it will, because the signal strength is stronger here. A button or a lever gives a signal strength of 15. What this comparator does, it carries that signal, and if it's a signal strength of 15 is given, it gives an output of 14. This gives a 13, and this then gets it into 13. So then this gives an output of like this can be output of 13, so 12, and then it gives an output of 11. This one gives output of 10, and so on. That's how it elongates the signal. So that's literally how it works. And you just got a pulse extender over here, the double comparator one, which gives us a little bit of time to walk through, and then it will close. Super cool. And now you can build this whole thing on your own. Super simple, I know. And yeah, this is my design. This is my design, but I'm not that proud of it. If you want, this is the ether door. I've seen a great tutorial by Pixel Riffs. He has a survival guide in which he made a ether door with the same sort of like glass plane in the middle with node blocks and observers in his video. So in his video about the Colosseum, he has a villager trading Colosseum in which he actually needed a piston door, so he designed this. It was super cool, and I made my own version which has a different opening and closing sequence. And here there's no pulse extender. As I mentioned before, sticker pistons spit out the blocks when they're given a 1 tick output, and that's the same thing here. Observers give a 1 tick output, which means it spits out its block. If you'll see, that's a sticker piston. It's gonna grab the block. Now it's gonna spit out its block, which is great. And the node block only gives a single output, that's why there's no double edge thing here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There are just observers and node blocks to like limit the amount of node blocks and observers, so that it's cheaper to like build this, but this is not the most efficient, that's not the smallest one, and I'm sure Pixel's one is better. And I'm saying this, they're like 1 wide 3x3 piston doors, like literally 1 wide, but I don't know how they work. I don't know how to build them, and yeah, so I don't want to make tutorials on something that I don't know about. That's why, even though these are ginormous piston doors that if you build in 2012 you would be very cool, but in 2021 not so great. But at least you learned something, I say. Like these piston doors have a cool opening and closing sequence. Like that's just cool. And I really like the closing one. Like all of these assemble and then just reminds me of like Iron Man, who has his like everything come. He wears his suit in a particular manner. Like his boots come on first, and then everything else, which is super cool. And yeah, it just reminds me of that. Like first of all, the main thing comes, and then the packaging is super cool. So hope you enjoyed this video. The world download will be in the description section down below. And yeah, and I'm super happy because this one, the big piston door with cool wiring and things, is the first 3x3 piston door that I have designed, and I'm super proud of it. So yeah, it's just super cool, and that's why I wanted to make a tutorial on it. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe to my channel and like the video. I don't really say that, but I think I should say that this time. So yeah, bye-bye. Bye. Why you still here? Nothing to see.